If you've been scrolling through endless lists of gaming laptops, comparing specs, watching YouTube unboxings, and still feel like you're stuck in a loop, this review is meant to pull you out of that analysis paralysis. You're probably wondering whether a 14-inch machine can actually keep up with the games you love without turning your lap into a sauna, and whether the price is justified when a desktop could give you more bang for the buck. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's be clear about what the HP Pavilion 14 is trying to be. It's positioned as a lightweight, everyday-use laptop that also throws in a bit of gaming muscle thanks to its Intel dual-core CPU, a hefty 64GB of DDR4 RAM, and a massive 2TB SSD. The promise is reliable performance for your essentials while still letting you pop in a title like Fortnite or Valorant during a break. The real question is whether that promise holds up once you plug it in and start a session. From a portability standpoint, the Pavilion lives up to its name. At just under £3, it slides easily into a backpack, making it a decent companion for college students or professionals who need a secondary device for meetings and then want to unwind with a quick game on the train. The 14-inch HD screen is framed by HP's micro-edge bezel, which gives a slightly larger field of view than you'd expect on a notebook that size. It's not a 1080p panel, so you won't be staring at ultra-crisp textures, but for 1080p game assets the image is clean enough that you won't feel cramped. Heat is where the conversation gets interesting. Dual-core processors on a thin chassis tend to run hot when the GPU is pushed, and the Pavilion is no exception. In my own testing with Apex Legends at medium settings, the CPU temperature crept up to the low 90 SF after about 20 minutes, and the fans kicked in with a noticeable whine. The sound is not a full-blown scream, but it's audible enough that you'll hear it in a quiet room. If you're the type who plays late at night and need a silent environment, you might find that distracting. On the other hand, the fan ramp-up does keep the laptop from throttling, so you maintain a steady frame rate rather than watching the game stutter. Keyboard feel is another practical factor. HP gave this model a full-size layout with a numeric keypad tucked in on the right side, which is a rare luxury on a 14-inch notebook. The keys have a shallow travel and a modest tactile bump, which works fine for typing documents or chatting on Discord, but it doesn't provide the satisfying click you'd get on a dedicated gaming keyboard. For long gaming sessions, you may find yourself reaching for an external mechanical keyboard if you're particular about key response. Battery life is often the deal-breaker for gaming laptops, and here the Pavilion tries to balance the scales. HP advertises extended battery life, and indeed, when you run the laptop on standard productivity tasks browsing, Office 365, streaming video, you can stretch close to 9 hours on a single charge. Once you launch a game, the drain accelerates sharply. Minecraft at low settings knocked the battery down to 50% in just over an hour. That's expected, but it means you should plan to be near a power outlet if you intend to game for more than a quick session. Now, let's talk about the storage and memory setup. A 2TB SSD is a serious amount of fast storage. Games install quickly, and you won't have to worry about running out of space for large titles or a hefty media library. Coupled with 64GB of RAM, you'll never hit a memory ceiling in modern games, and multitasking between a game and a video conference becomes effortless. The downside is that you're paying for a lot of RAM you'll never fully utilize if gaming is your primary use case. Most games run comfortably with 16GB these days. If you're budgeting tightly, that RAM could be a cost that doesn't translate into noticeable performance gains. Price-wise, the Pavilion lands in the mid-range bracket for gaming-capable laptops. You're getting a premium SSD, massive RAM, and a full-size keyboard for a price that competes with entry-level gaming laptops that usually come with a dedicated GPU. The catch is that this HP model relies on integrated graphics, so you're not looking at high-settings AAA titles. If you're okay with playing indie games, esports titles, or older releases at respectable frame rates, the trade-off makes sense. If you're hoping to crank Cyberpunk 2077 to 60 frames per second, you'll quickly feel the limitation and might be better off saving for a laptop with an NVIDIA RTX card or building a desktop. Who should buy this? First, students or remote workers who need a versatile machine that can handle work spreadsheets, video calls, and occasional gaming without hauling a separate device. Second, gamers on a budget who primarily enjoy titles that are not graphically demanding. Think League of Legends **, Rocket League **, or retro RPGs. Third,